How you good people doing? This is Chaplain Mark here. We out here looking at this 2002 Lexus LS 430. People always ask me, well, what do I need to do to purchase a car? Well, guess what? I decided to make you guys a special little video to show you exactly how I go about purchasing cars. I've been buying cars for over 20 years. I probably got about 500 or so cars under my belt, bought and sold, but a lot of people don't understand how to actually purchase a vehicle. So I'm going to go over a couple of tips that I always use when purchasing a vehicle. The first thing you need to know about purchasing a vehicle is exactly what kind of car are you looking for. I mean, that's the most important part. You got to know what you want. Most people don't know what they want, so a lot of times they struggle, particularly if you're buying a car based on finance. When you're buying a car based on how much money you got, well, that's going to limit how good a car you actually can get. So a car like this, a luxury vehicle, a car that, by all stretches of the imagination, is probably one of the best vehicles ever built. When we look inside this car was built with purpose and intention, and attention to detail. So based on what you want, it's going to cost you. So let's go through the first thing. Once you figure out what kind of car you want, what kind of car you're looking for, figure out what kind of car, what kind of money you got. Is going to put you into the car you like. You can't get Scat Pack Hellcat with $2,000-3,000 money. You know, we're gonna have to figure out something that's gonna be dependable for you. Now, the Lexus brand is basically a Toyota, but it's a Toyota on steroids. Luxury, reliability, quality. So it's a lot more room for error in a car like this than, say, a BMW or a Mercedes or something like that. But let's take the car out of the picture for now. You need to buy a car. What am I looking for when I buy a car? Well, the first thing is who you buying the car from. If you buying the car from a dealer, I can almost assure you they don't know nothing about the car. All they want to do is make a sale. They don't even particularly care if the car is going to work out for you. They doing it by volume and not by, what you think or how you feel. I always recommend people buy it from a person that's had the vehicle for at least 2 years. The 2 years worth of maintenance, 2 years worth of understanding what the car uh, is going to help you out. And you're not just buying the car, you actually buying the person. A lot of people don't understand that. When you buy a car, you actually not buying the car, you actually buying the person that you're buying from the car. Yeah, I'm throwing a lot of words there together, but the short answer is if you get a feeling that a person is a shady person, that they play games, you get the feeling that they're not an honest type of person. Well, guess what? Your confidence in the vehicle you buying is already skyrocketing down. I won't buy a car if I feel like I'm buying the car from a shady person. The number two thing, mechanically. I know people get caught up in the way a car looks. Like, this is a beautiful car. But mechanically, I need to know what kind of maintenance was done on this car. I know that because this is a Lexus and it's not a lot of these cars on the road, parts are going to be expensive. Fixing this car is going to be expensive. These are things that you need to do. You need to forecast your problems ahead of time. Uh, People buy things based on right now what they see and how the car is at that very moment. But you need to project what's going to cost me 6 months from now. Is this car going to be a problem, a headache 6 months from now? You need to include all of that. So let's go. Brands to stay away from. Typically, what I'm going to tell you is anything that you can't maintain. Like, if you feel Lexus is something you can't maintain, stay away from it. You need a more commercial brand like a Chevy, a Ford, even a Chrysler. But even then, you got to figure out within those models what's right for you. The third thing to pay attention to is, does this car take regular gas or premium? Typically, when you buying a car that is a higher brand car like this, it's premium only. It may seem sweet right now, but guess what? When you got to go to the gas station every week and you paying $4.50 a gallon or $5.50 a gallon, well, guess what? That gets irritating. It'll take you out the game by itself. So, you got to weigh all these things in there. Mileage. How many miles does this car got? Now, I know that this particular car has 215,000 miles on it. And I know somebody then fell out their chair saying, well, that seems like a lot of miles. Well, not for this car, it's not. This 250,000 is probably a Ford's 80,000 miles. This car was so well built, probably arguably one of the best cars ever built, that it goes 400,000 miles just with regular maintenance. A lot of people stay away from high mileage cars, but that's not the world we live in today. People putting more miles on cars now than they ever have. And so mileage is not a problem, but it depends on the vehicle. Now, a Nissan with this kind of mileage on it, I got a hesitation. Mitsubishi, all those kind of things, I got a hesitation with that kind of stuff, but not this. I'm going to get more in depth. I'm probably do a video series. This is just one of the car buying video series. We're going to dig more into the mechanics of it. These are just my initial impressions when going to buy a vehicle. And listen, cars are great, but these same principles apply to every area in your life. When you're doing things in life, make sure that you're taking the time to inspect and calculate what you're doing. Stop rushing into things just because it feels good. A lot of people done bought cars because it feels good, and then 6 months later they done played themselves. That's the same with, you looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend or anything in life. Calculate the risk that you're taking before you take that risk. What feels good now might not necessarily feel good later. That goes for cars, people, that credit card that you like to spend. Everything in life is a calculation. And the greater the cost, the greater the chance of it blowing up in your face. So a vehicle like this may cost $7,000, even with those miles on it. That goes for the people. That girlfriend may cost you a steak dinner now, and it could blow up in your face and cost you 21 years worth of heartache and pain. So take it from me. Take your time. Know what you want. Put the investment forward and calculate the cost and project outward. Not just now, not just how it feels, not how it runs now, but down the line, how's it going to feel then? This is your favorite chaplain, Mark. Take your time. Study, and above all else, put God first. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. This is just my initial impressions of how to purchase a vehicle. We'll get into the mechanics of it more. We'll get into the body lines and what you're looking for in the body of a vehicle. We'll get into all of that. But I know whether or not I'm going to buy a vehicle within the first 60 seconds of me looking at it. Looking at the car and the person, I know whether or not I'm going to buy that vehicle. All right. See you guys soon.